Kill streaks helped set Call of Duty apart from other first-person shooters, at least back in 2007 they did. Since then, they've been a staple of the series. Yes, they've changed from kill streaks to point streaks to score streaks, then back to kill streaks, but everybody knows what I'm talking about, and everybody has their favorite setup. But what were the streaks that nobody ever used? You looked over them for one reason or another. What were the streaks that were a waste of space in your class setup? What's up, everybody? Chaos here. Today, we're going to be looking at 10 streaks throughout COD history that you probably forgot about, never used, or didn't even know they were in the game. Let me know which of these you actually did possibly use. Drop a like, and we're going to start things off with the Moz. Yep, the Moz, the rocket launcher in COD Ghosts. Now, I think it's safe to say that Call of Duty Ghosts had a pretty weak offering of streaks all the way around. Most people only remember the SATCOM and the guard dog, but they completely forget about the rest because they were running specialists. The Moz was a support streak. It would cost you 9 points without hardline. Now, for 9 points, you would expect something relatively powerful, but instead you got a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. Now, after firing, the rocket would follow along with a little laser attached to the barrel, meaning you could actually guide it to its target, which is pretty cool. You could get some cheesy hits. I mean, it was a cool weapon in theory, but given that it only had 2 shots and the maps in Ghosts were so big, you didn't really ever get any kills. Hardly anybody ran it. There was tons of hit markers as well. A lot of people skipped the support streaks altogether in COD Ghosts, but if you were one of the few using that strike package, there's probably a 0% chance you ever ran the Moz. At number 9, Thor in Infinite Warfare. Now, IW had a pretty weird lineup of streaks. Most of them weren't very lethal, so the most common streaks were things like UAVs, counters, and sentry guns. Now, there weren't really many people using the air support in the game, and I can't really figure out why. Maybe it's because leaving your body behind to control the streak meant certain death in Infinite Warfare, or maybe it was because the advanced movement, largely indoor map design, made it difficult for air support to actually kill anything. But the Thor really should have been cool. It cost you 1,300 points. It was basically a futuristic version of the Reaper from Modern Warfare 3, which was awesome. It would orbit around the map for 60 seconds or until it was destroyed, and you could manually target locations on the map to get bombarded with missiles. Now, there was even a way to make it lock onto enemy players, which made it even more effective. The Thor didn't really catch on with most of the Infinite Warfare community, even though it looked and sounded awesome and the name was awesome. Nobody ever used it or remembers it. At number 8, the Assault Drone in Modern Warfare 3. We all like to say we used it back in the day, but did you really? It would cost you 10 points in the Assault package, would give you a remote control of this heavily armed and well-armored Wally drone. Now, it came equipped with an MK46 LMG and a rocket launcher, and both of them had unlimited ammo. The drone just chugged along at a decent pace. It made it a little tough to outrun, actually. It had really good damage potential, could get lots of kills pretty quickly, but the health and the lack of AI control, those were the downfalls. Wally could be killed with a single rocket or an EMP grenade, and you were forced to manually control it at all times. You couldn't just let it roam around and do the work for you. Set it and forget it. The Assault Drone was fun. It was memorable, but it wasn't practical. You never saw anybody running it. At number 7, the Ground Jammer in Ghosts. Honestly, I'm shocked we never hear about this streak anymore because it's actually pretty insane. It was a 12-point support streak in Ghosts, and it was like an early version of the infamous system hack from Advanced Warfare. Upon activation, it would destroy all ground-based kill streaks the enemy controlled, then hit every single enemy player with a 10-second 9-bang effect. It was this mix between an EMP and a giant magic flashbang. Yes, it might have been a little overpriced at 12 points, but it was satisfying. It had an amazing short-term effect on the enemy team that would be more than enough for you to push forward and retake an objective. The Ground Jammer was really good, but you never hear about it, ever, because nobody was running support streaks back in Ghosts. At number 6, the Shield Turret in Modern Warfare 2019. This game had some insane kill streaks, but that doesn't mean they were all bangers. I'm willing to bet that if it weren't for Warzone, a lot of you would have already forgotten that the Shield Turret was in the game. It was a 3-kill streak. It allowed you to deploy a shielded machine gun turret that fired slowly, had a lot of recoil, and didn't deal a lot of damage. There was absolutely nobody using it in the game. If you were a completionist, you probably spent a few hours of your life hating everything while forcing yourself to use it, but other than that, nobody was rocking the Shield Turret, especially since it was the same category as the personal radar. At number 5 today, sticking with turrets, the Remote Sentry in Modern Warfare 3. Now, somehow the Shield Turret isn't the worst turret kill streak in COD history. Sentry guns are nice. They're safe. You could throw them down, set them, forget them, let them do the work. Some of the better sentry guns in COD history would get you 7 to 8 kills every time. But the whole appeal was the option to leave them there and take off running. The Remote Sentry was a 12-point streak in the support package you could throw down and then manually control from wherever you were sitting. It was pretty decent. Featured a full 360-degree range of motion, relatively quick time to kill, but the fact that you had to manually control it to do anything, nah, nobody ran it. If there was an AI bot controlling it, it would have been perfect, but since there wasn't, it was completely forgotten. At number 4, the flamethrower in COD World War II. Now, the flamethrower had to be one of the coolest killstreak rewards of all time in the game, but it did actually get a lot of field usage for a number of reasons. First, the flamethrower was commonly found on the ground in the war game mode, so a lot of people just passed over it in the standard multiplayer because they already used it enough in that one mode. On top of that, it cost 700 points. A lot of people didn't think it was worth it. 700 points was a lot in COD World War II, and the flamethrower's awesome effects didn't match its short range and sometimes inconsistent times to kill. It should have been price less, or at least made more effective if Sledgehammer wanted people to use it outside of war mode. But since neither of those buffs were ever made, it was largely unused in standard multiplayer, and a lot of people actually forgot it was even an option. At number 3, the Infantry Assault Vehicle in Modern Warfare 2019. When the game came out, people's minds were absolutely blown that there was a literal tank kill streak. Let me ask you guys, when was the last time you even thought about the tank kill streak? The Infantry Assault Vehicle could only be used on certain maps, and even then, it wasn't really fun to use because it was clunky and the controls were slow. For 7 kills, you could also get the Wheelson, which was a little remote-controlled tank that was way better, especially on smaller maps. The IAV just wasn't worth the amount of kills required to get in, since a lot of the Modern Warfare community preferred to play on the smaller maps anyway. It literally couldn't be used. It couldn't be used by a huge chunk of the player base. Forgotten. At number 2, the Helo Scout and Ghosts. I have no idea how a streak like this was forgotten. 13-point support streak. Had to be one of the coolest concepts in COD history, but it was awkward and ineffective, so you never saw it. Upon calling it in, you would leave your body and take control of a sniper flying around the map in a helicopter, like a more precise version of the chopper gunner. You felt like a boss every time you hit somebody from the chopper, but the fact it was so difficult to use made it, really just hard to justify putting in your package. It was cool, but it didn't have any health, and the COD Ghost maps were so huge, it was difficult to find people to shoot at. It's crazy to me that such an awesome streak in concept ended up being so forgettable. I would love to see it added to Modern Warfare 2, just tweaked, maybe a little bit of redemption. And at number 1 today, the most forgotten kill streak in my mind has to be the hand cannon in Black Ops Cold War. Call me crazy, but I'm almost always forgetting it's there. Basically the Cold War version of the Annihilator pistol from Black Ops 3 and 4. You whipped out this massive handgun, did insane damage, you could tear through enemies like paper, but you only had a few shots to fire before you would have to earn it all over again. Now, BO3 and 4's Annihilator pistol was a ton of fun to use, and it was extra satisfying because of the gameplay changes. In Black Ops 3, people had jetpacks. They could run on walls, and in Black Ops 4, enemies took way more bullets to kill than normal, so the Annihilator pistol stood out. Black Ops Cold War? Nothing really special about the hand cannon. There's a lot of weapons in Cold War that can instantly kill people, so what's special about it? Why would you use one of your score streak slots on a one-shot kill pistol when you could just run around with a one-shot kill pistol like the Magnum or the Marshall? It didn't stand out in Cold War at all, and for that reason, I know I'm not the only one who often forgets it's even in the game, to be honest with you. And there you have it. Let me know one weapon I forgot. See what I did there? And I'll see you guys soon.